And hello, South Florida. Welcome to another live edition of the Real Estate Show. South Florida's #1 program about real estate and America's longest running daily radio show, all about the topic of real estate. My name is Eric Willner, and I am your host here. We are here live Monday through Friday. That's 5 days a week, live at 5 p.m. That's Eastern Time, and coming at you, available to you 5 different ways. That's right. You can hear us on the AM station on 1470. You can hear us on the FM station at 96.9 and 95.3. You can hear us also on any of the free apps that you can download. Simply go to your store where you download the apps for your smart device. Look for the iHeartRadio app, the TuneIn app, the radio.com app. Well, even WWNN has their own app that you can download, and it connects directly to this radio station. You can listen to this radio station all day long on the WWNN app, but you can listen to us live at 5. You can also listen to us live on our website at automaticlandlord.com. That's automaticlandlord.com. And on that website, all you have to do is go to the top of the page, click where it says The Real Estate Show. If you're there live at 5, we're going to be there too. If not, you can always listen to any of our rebroadcasts. We post them up there about 24 to 48 hours later, and then you can listen to our show in its entirety on demand at your leisure as well. And you can even download the podcast version and take us with you and listen to it offline. But right now, here we are. We are online. We are live, and we got a great week starting out for you. Hopefully, all of you enjoyed your 4th of July festivities, that everyone still has all of their fingers, all of their toes, and had a good 4th of July weekend. It was a great weekend. I think the weather cooperated. A lot of us down here in the South Florida area were wondering whether we were going to have clear skies for fireworks on the 4th of July. And with, I guess some intermittent showers, depending where you are. But it turned out to be a beautiful and calm night. So that was good. Still bracing on the west coast of Florida for what may develop back into a hurricane. We'll see how that kind of plays out. But nonetheless, we are here now getting ready for what we're going to talk about the rest of the week here on the Real Estate Show. We got a very interesting week here. Obviously, as we move closer and closer, now we're officially past the middle of the year. We are now looking at the backside of 2021. Now officially less than 6 months left of the year, and less than a month for some of the stimulus or the government assistance. And so with that, we're starting to hear, and I'm sure you're going to read about it in the media here as well, but that mortgage servicers are now getting ready to brace, for the fallout as COVID bailout comes to an end. Now, remember last week we announced that the CDC did their one more but final extension of the moratorium as far as the CDC is concerned. Remember they use their authority as a public safety measure, but with what do they say? 55% of the population now fully vaccinated. Something short of 70% have at least one shot of the 2 vaccinations. So state by state, we're opening back up and moving towards a fully opened economy. So if that's the case, then the CDC would have no reason to extend their warnings or their bans. And believe you me, that the lenders are also anxious to get back into a free market where those that pay can stay, those that don't pay, then there's a process and a procedure for all of that. So in a nutshell, and this is what we're going to be talking about throughout the week. I don't think I need to define what the forbearance is, or just in case any of you are new to the concept and maybe not following what's going on. The forbearance was basically a payment break. I don't call it a payment holiday because I would hardly call the situation a holiday, but it's a payment break where the lender says that they'll allow you without the consequence of foreclosure to not make a certain number of payments. And it depends on the agreement. This all started out, obviously, back in March when the pandemic was officially declared by the World Health Organization and the government as a measure to get people to stay home and to not worry about, mortgage payments and rent payments if you were not able to go to work. They started out with a 3-month forbearance, automatic, and then and then a lot of lenders kind of jumped in and also extended that. In fact, that we're even offering it where it might not have been needed. And that was a whole other discussion that we talked about. But then it actually extended for another 3 months. And then it was extended for another 3 months and then another 3 months. And then now you've seen it lately. They've been extending it for 1 month at a time. So as you can see, they're slowly putting the brakes. It's kind of like pumping the brakes on the way downhill to make sure that that the brakes are working. But the bottom line is that at some point we're going to have to come to a stop with all of these bailouts and artificial supports in the marketplace. So statistically speaking here, an estimated 7.25 million borrowers have participated in forbearance programs. Now think about that. 7.25 million people at one time. And I saw numbers that were higher than this. So obviously a lot of those must have been estimated, that were estimated higher, but still it's a pretty significant number. 7.25 million borrowers were in forbearance at some point and for some period of time. And that was, at one point or another throughout the coronavirus pandemic, which represents, and this is why I said it's not insignificant, 14% of all homeowners with mortgages. So that was according to Black Knight. Now, here's one little sidebar thought that you won't read anywhere else, but I'm just going to point it out to you anyway. At any given period of time, it's pretty commonly accepted knowledge that people move approximately once every 7 years. Think about that for a second, right? That people either refinance or sell once every 7 years. So it's fairly well accepted. In fact, even in the world of mortgages are not based, the 30-year fixed rate mortgage is not based on the 30-year treasury bill. It's based on the 10-year treasury bill. Why? Because the vast majority of people either sell or refinance before the 10-year mark. So they base their cost of money, what they're going to extend to hold on to, on that period. So the cool thing about that is that that at any given point in time, there's if every 7 years people are moving, well, 7 translates into 14% of the marketplace. Notice the coincidence there, that 14% of the people were in forbearance. Now, I'm not saying that it's all the people who were thinking of moving were just decided not to pay, but I'm just telling you that the statistics, the human behavior even tends to bear out over time. And even when there's hiccups in the economy, here you go, you see these patterns in the economy. About 72% of all participants have since left. That means 72% of that 7.2 million have left their plans, while 28%, or just more than 2 million, remain in active forbearance. Okay, so now what we're talking about is something, about a quarter of that 14% that were of the homeowners, of all homeowners. So now we're talking something more like 2 to 3%. Remember when I was saying that there was going to not be a foreclosure tsunami, that there would be a spike in the foreclosures at some point in time when they lift all of these measures. But I just wanted to kind of give you the overview numbers as to why I believe that assessment that was done back 6 months ago is pretty accurate. And as you've watched this year on the air, we have visited the REO companies, the asset management companies. We visited the hedge funds. We've spoken to all of those and related to you. And you can go back and listen to all of the shows. They're all archived up there at Automatic Landlord. And we've been documenting why we believe that that investors, if you're sitting on the sidelines, and even a couple of weeks ago when we even had the private investment letters from the stock brokerage houses saying that real estate will be more valuable a year from now. Well, here you go. Everything so far has been pointing to that. And then, like I said, there's always a possibility, barring something unseen or unexpected on the horizon, something crazy that nobody's talking about right now. It looks like the real estate market is a green light going forward. And one more thing before we go into a break, and then I'm going to dive a little bit deeper, and I'm going to lay out the agenda for the rest of the week. But of the 146,000 plans reviewed this week, all right, that's people talking about talking with their lenders, reviewing their situation, and so forth. 44,000 of those, okay, a little bit less than 1/3 of them, also left forbearance, while the plans of 102,000, and this is what I told you what would happen, is 102 of those were extended. So that's why heed my advice. If you're in this situation, be in communication with your lender, because there's a possibility both the lenders and the government, and I would imagine the homeowners, are looking for some sort of a soft landing, a graceful way out of this, if you will. For some, it might not be so graceful, but the opportunity right now is on the table. Negotiate, speak, do what you can. If you need some help, give us a call. The toll-free number to reach us is 888-565-1470. That's I'm sorry, that's not the number I wanted to give out. Our number, 888-595-7779. I was giving out the radio station number. Our number is 888-595-7779. And I'm going to give out a text code when we come back from this break. So you're listening to The Real Estate Show. My name is Eric Willner. Don't touch that dial, because we will be right back. So how's everybody? Simone, Erica, Felipe, Roberto. How's everybody? Did you have a nice 4th of July? I know some of you did, because I know some of you did. We're coming back now. And welcome back. For those of you just joining us here on The Real Estate Show, my name is Eric Willner. I am your host, as we have been here live on the air since 1999. That's 23 years of uninterrupted shows here, through good times, through bad times, through the ups and downs of the economy, the Great Recession, the subprime crisis, the pandemic, you name it. The Real Estate Show has been here on steady on a steady track here, helping real estate investors to see through a lot of the noise that's there in the marketplace. And as if you've been watching the headlines, and obviously it's the drama, it's the sensational headlines that sell the newspapers and get the eyeballs on the tube. But no matter what, the one thing that we have been saying here is that don't expect a repeat of 2008, not at all. And even though the nation's mortgage servicers are gearing up for this next sort of wave of delinquent loans, once the foreclosure moratorium is lifted, once the eviction moratorium is lifted. And we all expect that to be very, very soon. In fact, as I mentioned before, the CDC announced that they were extending it for the last time until July 31st. So that's going to be a key date to watch. I think after that, you're going to have to start looking state by state, and you'll see certain states be a little bit slower on the draw. You'll see other states be more anxious to get back to business as usual. But the one thing about this whole spike in foreclosures that will happen. I'm just telling you that between the investors sitting on the sideline, locked, loaded, and full of cash, between the first-time home buyers who are anxiously awaiting an opportunity for some additional inventory, and then when you talk to the lenders, here is the nation's mortgage servicers are gearing up. They have been gearing up. We've documented them gearing up right here on the Real Estate Show, but they said that this is going to probably be the largest number of foreclosures since the subprime crisis back in 2007 and 2008. But this time, they say they're ready. And believe you me, they are. The first wave of borrowers to enter the government's coronavirus mortgage bailout program are entering their last possible quarter for relief. Remember, I said it's 3 months, 3 months, 3 months, which means that come September, they will either have to start paying, sell their homes, or go into foreclosure. Now, many people will have been saved by the rising tide of the marketplace, and there may be equity in the properties. I've been talking to a lot of investors recently who are telling me that they're looking at people who were getting foreclosure notices, but they have equity. So there may be some good news there in a little silver lining at the end of the day, if they take the first steps. And now many people have been ignoring every bit of mail and every phone call for so long that they may not know where to start or who to contact. And that's why I gave out our number. Contact us at therealestateshow.net. You can find us also at automaticlandlord.com. You can message us through automaticlandlord.com. And if you want, you can also text the word loan, and we'll know exactly how to help you. Text the word loan to 561-861-2366. That's 561-861-2366. And we'll be sure and help you out, whether it's questions about a modification, whether short sale is the right thing, or whether there is, what would be the method to re-engage your lender, get in a communication, and either gracefully sell and take the equity that you have and then right size, or there's a number of different options, probably too many to discuss right here. But mortgage bailout programs, both government and the private sector. Remember, we've been talking about the down payment assistance, and yes, there are some. There's other assistance programs which we haven't even talked about yet, because as the actual event approaches, those things will actually be modified depending on what the market really needs to do. But launched at the start of the COVID pandemic, the government originally allowed borrowers to delay their monthly payments for up to 1 year, and then that was extended to 18 months. Each quarter, the borrowers were supposed to re-up. In other words, to declare, communicate with their lenders that they wanted to continue that program. An estimated 7.25 million borrowers, as I said in the beginning of the program, have participated in the forbearance programs. And at one point or another, which was, as I said, 14% of all homeowners with mortgages. And now this week and next, a total of more than 350,000 borrowers will be reviewed for extension or removal from forbearance, according to Black Knight. Of the 146,000 plans reviewed this week, 44 of them, as I said before, left forbearance, while plans of 102,000 of those were extended. And this is key if you think about it. Those that could left. And I recommend, the sooner that you get out of that story, the better it will be for you. Those that got extended, but they're working out some sort of a repayment program along the way. Roughly 2/3 of homeowners remaining in forbearance estimates that 575,000 plans will expire, not in July, not in August, but in September, which is the final quarter of the 18 months. Meaning that mortgage servicers will be facing the daunting task of dealing with about 15,000 troubled loans per day. But you and I both know how that's going to work out. So if you're not sure, again, contact us at automaticlandlord.com. Just send us a quick note. Text us the word loan to 561-861-2366, and we'll help you out. We've helped out hundreds, from modifications to short sales to sales, but always ending up the best way possible for the borrower. And that's who we're trying to help right here. So again, text the word loan, 561-861-2366. We all know what's coming, and we've invested as well. And so I think from an industry perspective, the servicers, especially the larger servicers, they're ready. They're going to be ready. So don't worry about that. Number is not going to be intimidating. Remember, there was a famous Linda Green back in 2008. She could sign 8,000 documents a day. As it turned out, there was quite a few Linda Greens making that signature. But they'll be ready. I think that, Mr. Cooper, who the former Ocwen and the former what it was before then, they are saying they're ready, and they're one of the larger, I would say, distressed or scratch and dent servicers out there. From the start of the bailout, part of the CARES Act, the CEO of Mr. Cooper characterized the mortgage program as complete chaos. That's how he called it, but he's now even admitting that he was wrong, and it's much more managed and much more under control than he alleged when he gave his first interviews. He credits, now this is a big turnaround for a guy who loves scratch and dent loans. He credits the ramp up in new technology. Thank you, the great accelerator of the pandemic. The streamlined procedures for the plan's success. They're even calling it a success. So it was simple, easy, and the customer experience, I think, was about as good as it can be. And then when you look at the tools that when they're coming off forbearance, they're pretty easy as well. And I'm going to tell you, the mortgage industry in the last several years has come a long way, baby. So I think you're going to see a much smoother transition, and all the better. If everybody sort of plays nice, it could have a happy ending for more people. It's going to be significant volume for sure. But like I said, these are big boys. They've got a lot of tools, and they have already trained and equipped a pretty good army of people to deal with it. So if you're waiting for, chaos and confusion on the lender side and free rent forever and ever, you're going to be sadly mistaken. Anyway, that's going to be the topic for the rest of the week. We're going to be talking a lot more about that. We're going to talk about some great solutions on our tools, tips, and techniques on Tuesdays. We'll have our midweek report. We'll tell you more statistics and the state of the economy there. And of course, we'll talk about the money on Thursday on our ATM About the Money edition. Well, that's it for today. This is your show. This is it. We're going to wrap it up. We'll be back again, same place, same time tomorrow. Until then, your host, Eric Willner, signing off. Drive safe, wash those hands, and make it a great day. Bye-bye.
Call toll free at 888-595-7779.
We did it.
That's 888-595-7779. And join us.
Appreciate all you folks. Remember to give us a nice thumbs up there on the screen. Remember, what helps us the most to get the word out there is that when you share this show. Thank you, Susanna. That was a very nice compliment. And make sure that more people get this information, because they're going to need it. So Thanks again. Have a great day.
The following sponsored program are strictly those of the host, guests, and callers, and not necessarily those of the station, its staff, management, or sponsors.
Take care.